Okay, quick Tuesday morning radar update. So, 4 on the floor this morning, solid moves out in the markets, fantastic day in the portfolio. New all-time highs in the history of the world. Trademark stock caps. So, what I thought to do this morning, it's usually the first day of the market being open is usually a little bit boring. It looks pretty exciting today actually, so depending on how far I get with this, I might split this video into two. I'm just going to bring up a great thread on Twitter. It's something I dig into a lot and try and explain. And 10K Driver has just done a great thread on how stocks trade, and have a good look through this thread. I would say read it and then read it again, and just save the thread and read it a couple of times, because there's a lot of really sort of niche stuff here what you might not understand. Now, coming to general consensus, a lot of people will tend to tell you, high beta stocks mean better returns, and people go for the stocks what have the biggest moves against the market. Now, it's just not true. The best stocks for me are stocks what walk to the beat of their own drum. They ignore the market. So the way stocks tend to move, especially the high beta, blue sky ones in the UK markets, they tend to do a lot of nothing and then a couple of days of spiky action and then a lot of nothing again. So unless you're positioned, you don't take part. Most people chase the spike. You know how it sort of rinse and repeat through the washing machine cycle. Now, in my world, the best stocks are the ones what possess relative strength and growth, relative strength, and I'll just go straight back to this. As with the website, I always say the simple guide to risk management is the most important page on the website. It's basically the key to making money. Add to winners. Do the exact opposite of what everyone does. The math's there, the work's done for anyone to read, but it's going to be hard to trade it because it's going to be the exact opposite of what feels good. And guess what? That's what makes money. Now, when it comes to stock selection, this really, it tries to bring across, the type of action you want and the type of move, the lane you want to do business in. Are you an investor, just dollar cost averaging? Are you a primary trend? You're trying to ride stocks for percent gains, multiples of risk gains, or are you a swing trader? Well, a lot of people who go to active investing are actually just stuck in this zone here, swing trading. And they tend to miss out on a lot. They do all this work, all this time spent, and they don't achieve what this will do. And then looking at every stock thinking it will do that, it's just not going to happen. Stocks have their own sort of way of trading. So, I try and bring across how these stocks trade. The orderly ones have interest, orderly with growth, and the small to mid caps with growth, and they have a low beta against the market. They do their own thing. The market pulls back, they hold sideways, and then the market's ready like today, and then they all pop together. And that's how you want your portfolio to run, relative strength against soft market or choppy market environments, and you want it to explode higher, when the pressure is off. And also, what a lot of members sort of always say to sort of me, and it's something what is key to what I do is, when the market's selling off, all but the worst couple of days, what affect all stocks, our portfolios have just been steadily going higher and higher and higher and higher, and ignoring everything in the last 12 months. They've just steadily ground higher, and lots of consolidation and rotation, but growth stocks will always stay. Stocks will stay a step higher, and moving on from that, I could just move into a couple of stocks and just So before I just jump off this page, just understand that not all stocks will trade how you want them to trade. The choppy high beta ones, when the market has a bad day, it will have twice as bad a day. So efficient and high beta is a bad combination. Low, I'd just throw beta out of the equation and just say inefficient, and then find those stocks what are in that sort of space. You've got to, when you buy a stock, you've got to ask, is it sensible I can make many multiples of my risk on this? And if you find a small to mid cap stock with growth, the answer is usually going to be yes, and unless it's in a very boring sector. This is really deep stuff, I can understand that, but this is stuff you can't sort of, you never learn, you never read about this kind of stuff, and it's a really important part of the market. So, just moving on, huge day in my portfolio, JLP ticking up here, WATR ticking up. I'll just go to one what's not doing anything today, and just remember, same, the beta of this is very low. I picked it up here, some members picked it up here, log scales on there, so you're not seeing the multiples of risk. Notice this base was tighter than this one. This one plus an add on this one obviously gives you the most gain. This one on its own against this one on its own, the higher price actually makes you more money. So refer to the ShareScope tutorial I've just dropped actually for that sort of, there's a little quote in there what tells you about that. And just remember where the noise came in on this stock and what it's done since. This was the big day. It did that quick melt up, and then anyone with a break-even stop on this day or break-even plus, they might, this market could have taken a lot of these people out who bought into this news anywhere around here, and the market loves to do that. But this stock is just going sideways. What is it doing? It's consolidating this pop, this 60% move. It's just consolidating, and it's strong. And I'd like to see it do this, tighten up and break out again. But it could do that, and it could come down. That is the reality of these things. It could do that before it starts to tighten up. But move this out of the way. A little bit off piece there from what I started off talking about, but you've got to remember, you've got to come at every stock and just know what's available on that stock. And this one's, we're already riding this one for a huge gain. It's consolidating now. There'll be a lot of stories, plus minus on this stock here. At the moment, it looks like a high in the sky base. It could break out here and off it goes again. It actually looks quite strong, but it's trading on okay volume today, actually, 42%. So, that's a little bit on action of stocks, You'll hear a lot about stocks what are actually moving now, but the game is, being involved when there's, it's usually radio silence. When we were buying this, nobody was talking about it. Nobody was talking about it on this day here. And that was the best entry. And that was, the second best entry. both fantastic entries. So, you know, reward to risk available. A really fantastic report on this stock. Can it be that outlier with what's got lots more reward to risk? Well, yes, it can, but talking my own book there. Usually curse things when I do that. But, you know, this is where I want the majority of my business to take place. Very little will take place at this end. You know, the position is already in trail mode for me, actually, unless it was a bigger stage base, and I might add again. But a little bit off piece there, but that's what I wanted to talk about. So let's go back. You know, I'd say have a read of this first, and then have a read through this 10k driver thread here, and you'll learn a lot about stocks. You know, throw away all the ratios, throw away all the magic sort of indicators, whatever. It's down to how stocks trade. It really is. Moving on from that, it seems like every investor who updates on the market on a daily basis seems to be bearish on everything. So let's go and have a look what's happening in these markets today. We've been looking at this normal retrace on copper. Obviously it's moving today. Nickel, normal retrace, though it got sold down hard. You know, the primary trend is still okay on that one. Nickel, you know, basing out, looks okay to me. Let's go to gold. Yeah, it's trying to, you know, it's trying to hold on to that sort of swing kicker level, isn't it? And let's go to oil. Little bit bear flaggy, but bear flag will be against the primary trend. The primary trend is obviously up on this. So, you know, I think a little move into mean trend would be healthy for this. You know my view. I think it goes wide and loose for a few years. I really do. The market doesn't care what my view is. And let's move on to quick look what Bitcoin's been up to. You know, the trend is higher. TLT, swing kicker, against the primary trend, obviously, but well, the big long-term trend on this is always steadily rising. But you know, it looked a bit crazy, this call we made up here, and this is what happened. So we thought down to the voodoo, it went to the voodoo average, and then it rolled over again. And let's just have a look at cable this morning. I suppose we should have a look at dollar bull as well. So dollar bull dropping back as well. It's, you know, second move higher. It moved a little bit higher than it moved in the last pullback, but you know, the trend is actually still down. If you put the 10-month on there, it's still falling. It's falling over 10 months. It's falling over 20 months. You know, 6 months, it's kind of trying to reverse. So I will leave that there. Fantastic day, huge day in the portfolio. I will do another video and drop it in chat for today's volume leaders, and we'll see what we see in there. Okay.